everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live on this September 11th, 2021 show. Welcome to the Vinyl Treasure Show, being broadcast live on YouTube. Thank you all, and got a lot of cool 45s and lots of requests tonight to feature, so tell your friends about the YouTube stream. This is our vinyl community. Right now on Saturday night, I'm live on YouTube from 10 to 1 a.m., and we count down the music chronological here. We open up with an instrumental and two up-tempo tunes, and then we count down the music through the years. That's how I like to do it, how the music changes throughout the years, and we opened up tonight with the saxophonist Noble Thin Man Watts and a song he wrote. It was called Shakin'. Came out on Saul Rabinowitz's Baton label, his fourth of 8 releases on Baton. Of course, you may know his biggest hit, I think from 1958. It was called Hard Times the Slop, which is a pretty cool instrumental tune, but this one from May 1958, Noble Thin Man Watts and his Rhythm Sparks on the Baton label. It's called Shakin', so hopefully maybe Johnny G will get you guys shaking tonight, but we'll shake it up with this one here as we open up the vocal portion as we go to New York City. It's a New York City classic, I say it is. My aunt never owned the 45, but she had her and my favorite LP, and it was a compilation that came out on the Jubilee label, but it was called the Rumble Album, a great compilation with groups like the Love Notes and the Channels and the Continentals, and this group from Harlem, New York. They're known as the Bop Chords. This is the second of 3. They recorded on Danny Robinson's Holiday label. It features Ernest Harrison on lead. We open up tonight's vocal portion from November 56 with the Bop Chords and a classic on the Black Holiday label. It's called When I Woke Up This Morning.
When I woke up this morning, you were not there. As I searched for you, darling, I said a prayer. When I woke up this morning, you were not by my side. When I woke
We open up the vocal portion there with the great bop chords there. The bop chords on the Holiday record label. That's their follow-up to Castle in the Sky, song entitled When I Woke Up This Morning, November 1956. Ernest Harrison on lead there. The bop chords on the Holiday label, When I Woke Up This Morning. We continue now with another upbeat 45. We go to Philadelphia, PA. Actually, it's a request for listener Emnon. They have this lone release on the East West label, a subsidiary of Atlantic Records, but was released locally in Philadelphia on the Mainline label. I do have both promos and stocks, by the way, but I'm spinning my East West promo press. It features Paul Green on lead. This is going out to Emnon, December 57. Give a listen to the Fabulaires. The Fabulaires on East West and their tune called While Walking.
While walking along the street, I saw a girl I like to meet. I know that girl of mine will still be there till the end of time. I don't know why I feel this way. I only know she's mine to stay. While walking along the street, I saw a girl I like to meet. I don't know why I feel this way. I only know she's mine to stay. While walking along the street, I saw a girl I like to meet.
December 1957 release said the Fabulaires. Fabulaires by request for Emnon While Walking featured it on the East West record label. Paul Green, he's on lead. We continue here. We count down the music chronologically here on the 50s and early 60s edition. And this is a flip side from last week. Actually, I played a request for Emnon last week by the Checkers on Sid Nathan's King record label, their third release on King. And the tune was My Prayer Tonight, which featured John Carnegie on lead. Let's flip the 45 over before I file it back down in the no humidity basement, as the flip side features Charles White on lead. We started off here from January 1953, Sid Nathan's King record label. These are the Checkers. The Checkers with their tune called Love Wasn't There.
I gave my heart, my soul to my very life depended on you. When I found you didn't care, I knew that love wasn't there. felt sure that you was mine. How was I to know to see you throw me out of your mind? It was more than my poor heart could stand. It's gonna be hard to let you go, but I haven't the chance with you, I know. For if you never care, I know that love will never be there.
I felt sure that you were mine. How was I to know that you didn't care? To see you throw me out of your mind. It's more than my little heart could bear.
It's gonna be hard to let you go, but I haven't the chance with you, I know. For if you never care, I know that love will never be there. I know that love will never be there.
Crackly 45s there. That's the original. That's an original 45 with Crackle. The Checkers there. The Checkers with Charles Wright on lead, January 1953 on Sid Nathan's King record label. That's their third release on the King label. It's called Love Wasn't There. Love is here on a Saturday night starting at 10 o'clock, 10 to 1 a.m. and a little bit of overtime. You know, we always do that. Thank you all for tuning into the Vinyl Treasure Show. If you're new to the station, please subscribe to my YouTube station. Thank you all for subscribing. I hit 55,900 hours that people watched the Vinyl Treasure Show last month. Thank you all. 66 new subscribers. Thank you, John, for that. I appreciate that. And I think 3,000, 592 views, something like that. It's Johnny G. We are doing well. Thank you all for joining the Vinyl Treasure Show and the vinyl community here on a Saturday night and also on a Monday night, because I'll be back on Monday with 1960s sounds. But let's continue here. We are in 1953, and this is we'll stay in 53 with a request for Eddie Brown, who was in our chat room, the YouTube chat room. He's listening in New Zealand, and it's the debut single for this group called The Five Echoes. The Five Echoes out of Chicago. Came out on Art Sheridan's Sabre label, and I have it on red vinyl. I think this comes on black vinyl too, but I bought this from Mike Demersion. I remember it's kind of like, when he had these red, I always knew when I saw the red vinyls, it wasn't going to be cheap. But I wouldn't say this is an overly priced record, at least at the time when I bought it. But it features the lead of Walter Spriggs, and he also wrote the tune. This is going out to Eddie. September 53, The Five Echoes on the Sabre label. It's called Baby, Come Back to Me.
Dodo.
I'm in love with a woman, she's in love with my best friend.
Baby, come back to me, Dodo.
Baby, come back to me. Yeah, I'm in love with a woman, she's in love with my best friend.
Baby, come back to me, Dodo.
Baby, come back to me. Yeah, the odds are so great against me, I wonder if I'll ever win.
Baby, come back to me. Baby, come back to me.
Well, fate is turned against me. What in the world am I gonna do?
Baby, come back to me. Baby, come back
Yeah,
to me.
fate is turned against me. What in the world am I gonna do?
Baby, come back to me. Baby, come back to
Well, she put me down when she knew that my love was true.
Baby, come back to me. Baby, come back to me.
Wa-da-do-da-da.
Dodo.
Wa-da-da-da-da-da.
back to me.
Oh, pretty baby, baby, why should you be so
Baby,
mean?
come back to me. Baby, come back to
Well,
me.
I want you to know, baby, you are my everything.
Baby, come back to me. 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 Baby, come back to me.
Baby,
Come back to me.
As by request for Eddie Brown, the Five Echoes there. The Five Echoes with their debut single on the Sabre record label, Baby Come Back to Me. That one there released September 1953. It features Walter Spriggs on lead. The interesting thing about these Sabre records, I'm going to do one thing here, and I don't back cue my 45s, but listen. It's on all the Sabre, and I think it's also on the Parrot singles, I think. No, well, maybe not the Parrot singles. What's the other label that he had besides Sabre? But listen to the long lead-in. There's it goes through a few grooves before you hear the record. Look, I'm gonna just hit play, and look how long it takes from the time the record starts spinning till the music starts. Look. You see, there's a lot of rotations there. That is not real. That's not. Maybe that was for the. Excuse me. That was for the disc jockeys. Maybe when they were back queuing the records, so you don't get that cue burn. That would be a good idea. Johnny G babbling on here for a Saturday evening. Thank you all for joining in on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's continue here, and we move into 1954 with a request for listener George Tompkins. This group, great group out of Baltimore, Maryland. They had 12 releases on the Atlantic label. Let's give a listen to their sixth. This was originally recorded in October of 1951, but Atlantic did not release it until April 1954. It features the great lead of Ernie Warren. This is going out to George Tompkins, April 54. The Great Cardinals on Atlantic. It's called Under a Blanket of Blue.
Under a blanket of blue, just you and I beneath the stars, wrapped in the arms of sweet romance. The night is ours. Under a blanket of blue, let me be thrilled by all your charms. Darling, I know my heart will dance within your arms. A summer night's magic enthralling me so. The night would be tragic if you weren't here to share it, my dear. Covered with heaven above, let's dream a dream of love for two, wrapped in the arms of sweet romance, under a blanket of blue. The summer night's magic enthralling me so. The night would be tragic if you weren't here to share it, my dear. Cover dream a dream of love for two, wrapped in the arms of sweet romance, under a blanket of blue, under a blanket of blue.
So good to hear the Cardinals there. Thanks for requesting that one, George Tompkins. The Cardinals with Ernie Warren on lead, April 1954. That's on the yellow and black Atlantic without the fan. For you collectors out there, Under a Blanket of Blue. You know, their first release only came out on a 78. And I have that 78. We'll play it on the All 78 show. I'm accumulating 78 requests. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening, spinning my original vinyl 45s for the vinyl community here on YouTube. Thank you all for joining in. Tell your friends about the show. Not many shows really show the original records when they play them, but you know I'm playing real 45s. Actually, it was funny because Pat IM'd me this morning, and one of my early guest spots I did on WESU FM. It was Al Bernard's Moondog Matinee Show. They re-aired it today from 11 to 1 a.m. I think they have it on an archive. If you check out the WESU FM archives, I saw a bunch of them there for all the shows, and I think it was from July 24th of 2002, and I sounded so horrible. It was like I was so stiff. And Dave the Rave called me because he heard it, because I told him about it. He said, you know, Johnny, you sound great on there. You don't sound bad at all. I said, I do, Dave. When I listen to any disc jockey that goes back and listens to like their and this was like 2002. It was like, you know, I was so stiff in front of the microphone. It takes a number of years really to warm up to the mic. It does. And hopefully I think I'm really warmed up to the mic. Do I sound excited? I don't know. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in 1954, and this is the debut 45 for this group out of New Haven, Connecticut. They later on recorded as the Five Satins, but before that they were known as the Scarlets. And this song was written by the lead singer of the group. You know who he is, Mr. Fred Paris. This is on Bobby and Danny Robinson's Red Robin record label. Now, for you collectors out there, most of the presses of this 45, they play with surface noise. Lots of surface noise. I can't tell you how many my first copy, I could barely hear it. It had this big hiss. But I was lucky to find this copy. Thank you, Norm, for this copy here, because his copy plays fantastic, and you'll hear it right now. That's how you want to get the Red Robins. They all don't play this way, but you will find some good ones. So it's worth the premium if you can find the Red Robin that plays really well if you collect 45s. June 54, the Scarlets on Red Robin. This is their first one. It's called Dear One.
I love you so, dear one. Why did you go? Tell me that you love me too. Dear one, never go away. I need you every night, every day. Tell me that you love me too. Oh, why did you go away? I need you night and day. I love you, I need you, I do. Oh, why did you make it and you know we were more than friends. Please come back to me. Oh, 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 dear one. Now is the time, dear one. Please say you'll be mine. Tell me that you love me too. Now is the time, dear one. Please say you'll be mine. Tell me that you love me too. That you love me too.
Those are the Scarlets, a.k.a. actually before they became the Five Satins. I think there were a couple name changes there, but I got to tell you, that record plays excellent. And I know many of you know the Red Robins. They all play, well, they don't all play, but most of them play. If you're lucky to find even a mint unplayed copy, they play with Surface Noise, especially that record. But that one, when I heard Norm's copy, I said, I got to get this. I don't care what it costs, because I can't find this record playing clean nowhere. Those are the Scarlets there, June 1954. That's the debut single for really the Five Satins, but no, they were called the Scarlets on the Red Robin label, Dear One. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. If you're new to the show, please subscribe. Yes, become part of our vinyl community here every Saturday night from 10 to 1 a.m. and sometimes longer. I know I get people that come in and out of the show. Thank you all for last week. I had my biggest show last week. 228 people tuned into the Vinyl Treasure Show. Thank you all for that. That was really a big thing for me. So happy that you all have done that. We continue here. Let's move into 1955. It's a rare one on Eddie Heller's Riviera record label. This group is out of Harlem, New York, began their career on Eddie Heller's Rainbow label in 1952, but they left to sign with Old Town. I think they had 2 releases on the Old Town record label, one on a 78 only, but Heller put out one more by the group on his subsidiary called Riviera Records. It's really a hard record to find too, by the way. You can get it, you collectors can get it much cheaper as the Duvals on the Rainbow label. That is really a reissue. But this features Wilbert Yankee Paul on lead, and I want to send this one out to 2 guys in our chat room. That's Nick Nicola and George Tompkins. I know they love this tune. Here we go to March 1955 for the great Five Crowns. The Five Crowns on Riviera and their classic. It's called You Came to Me.
You came to me. I was alone.
Journey, you came to me. Yes, and I was alone. You came to me with joy and song. Life would be complete if you remain. If you remain. Well, let it be a dream. I took you in my loving arms. I swear, yes, I love you. My heart is mine and yours to have. I swear I love you. Well, do let it be a dream in my heart. It seems you came to me.
You came to me. I was alone.
Send that one out there to both Nick Nicole and George Tompkins, the great Five Crowns. Five Crowns from March 1955. It's on the Riviera record label. You Came to Me. Wilbur Paul on lead there. Very rare 45. Evan, it came out on Rainbow as the Duvals. I think on red vinyl, I think. That was the reissue that all the collectors were able to get. And, of course, you can get this on the 78, I think much easier than the 45, especially clean, no less. And it's a Riviera record, very hard to find. Johnny G here on a Saturday. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes here. Thank you all for tuning into the Vinyl Treasure Show. Tell your friends about it if you're a collector of this music, even if you're a lover of the music and you want to join in on a Saturday evening. It's the vinyl community, really, and hopefully we'll be streaming soon for those of you that can't view the show but can only listen to the show. And but if you that may be coming shortly, we will see, so stay tuned. And actually, Pat told me, by the way, that the archive, the WESU archive, WESU FM, you can search for it in your browser. It's up for 2 weeks. I don't know if they post it right away or not, but they keep it up for 2 weeks. I got to call my buddy Al Bernard and tell him. He should have told me that. He should have told me. He should have called me today. I would have at least advertised that show. But anyway, and yes, Fred, I don't like to play 3 records in a row. I like to talk about each record, but that's how they used to do it on the Collector Show. But you know why? Because they were taking phone calls. They were taking phone calls in the studio. Yes. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in 1955. Now, a few records ago, I played the debut single by the Five Echoes. The Five Echoes on the Sabre label. Here they are again on Vivian Carter's VJ label. And this is a special dedication by George Tompkins to listener Harvey Karp. So George is sending this tune out to Harvey Karp. It's the first of 2 on the VJ label for the Five Echoes. It's a tune written by Constant Sims. Constant Sims, he wrote it, and he's on lead. We go back to March 1955, the Five Echoes on VJ Records. It's going out to Harvey Karp via George Tompkins. It's called I Really Do.
My girl forsake me. I don't know why. Why did you leave me? Why did you lie? I really love her. Yes, I love her. I really do. Nights are bad, days gone by. I wonder if my baby will ever cry. I really love her. Yes, I love her. I really do.
That song dedicated from George Tompkins to listener Harvey Karp, the first of two by the Five Echoes. The Five Echoes, March 1955 on Vivian Carter's VJ record label, I Really Do. What a great ballad that is. Johnny G really does play original vinyl 45s. Took me a lifetime to collect a lot of these records. You can't do it overnight, that is for sure. You might be able to accumulate your MP3s, but you can't do it with the 45s. And I'm glad to share my collection with you, the Vinyl Treasure listeners here on YouTube. Let's continue now. We are in the year 1955. We stay in Chicago with a request for Eddie Brown. Eddie Brown listening in New Zealand now. He requested the Four Buddies, not to be confused with the group from Baltimore, Maryland. That group recorded for Savoy Records, and this group was managed by Jimmy Davis, who also owned the Club 51 label, and the group would have their own recordings on the Club 51 record label. You may know the song called Dolores, but they backed up two single artists, singers on the label. I played the Bobby James. She was a jazz singer. I played it a couple weeks, or maybe a couple months ago. I played her tune, her rendition of I Need You So. And then Eddie's request, they backed up this singer by the name of Rudy Green, who co-wrote this song. We go back to March 1955 by request for Eddie Brown. It's Rudy Green and the Four Buddies on the Club 51 label. Give a listen to their tune. It's called You Mean Everything to Me.
Oh, darling, I might try to be at many times so stubbornly, but I want you to know you're worth more to me than gold. And if you say we're through, well, I don't know just what I'd do. You're my whole life's control. You're worth more to me than gold. Well, I long for no one but you. Tell me, what more can I say? And I'll always be true. So please don't take your love away. Oh, baby, yes, if I should lie, I hope that I'll lay right down and die. So, baby, can't you see? You mean everything to me.
Can't you see? You mean everything to me.
That's out of Chicago on the Club 51 record label there. Rudy Green and the Four Buddies. March 1955 release by request for Eddie Brown. You Mean Everything to Me is the name of the tune. Let's move into 1956 now with a request for Daniel Kubacki. So many groups have recorded this Rodgers and Hart classic. This is on Jerry Blaine's Josie label, and the group literally had no name. They had no clue what to call themselves when they started out, but they decided and said, how about we call ourselves the Eminons, which actually, the reason why they called themselves the Eminons, it means no name spelled backwards. That's what it is. This one features Robert Coleman on lead. This is by request for Daniel, July 1956 on the Josie label, the Eminons, with their rendition of the tune Blue Moon.
You saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for, that I was saying a prayer for someone I really could care for, and then there suddenly appeared before me the only one my arms could ever hold. I heard someone whisper, please adore me, and when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Then there suddenly appeared before me the only one my arms could ever hold. I heard someone whisper, please adore me, and when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own.
July 56 release there by request for Daniel Kubacki, the Eminons. The Eminons on the Josie label, their rendition of the tune Blue Moon. Robert Coleman, he's on lead. I have their other release. It's a very rare 45 on George Goldner's G record label. Hindu Baby, I think, is the side. I forget what the flip is, but that is a hard 45 on G. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. If you're new to the Vinyl Treasure Show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all you new subscribers to the channel. Tell your friends as we grow the station, we grow collecting, and I'm trying to keep the collecting hobby alive. All my record dealers out there, hopefully they are contacting. They say, Johnny G played this record on his show. Do you have it? That's my goal. Let's continue here. And we are in 1956. We go to Philadelphia, PA, to Herb Slotkin's Grand record label for this request for Tom Shaughnessy. This group is known as the Marquees with two E's. Now, normally the side that gets played is called the Bells, but Tom requested the flip. We go to May of 1956. This is on the Grand label, It was Joe Ronco. He sold me this 45 at one of the Allentown, PA shows. I was walking in from the parking lot, and he says, Johnny, do you need the marquees on the Grand label? And I said, yes, I do. He says, well, give me X, and it's a deal. So I did it. That's how I got my copy. May 1958, the marquees on Grand. This is going out to Tom Shaughnessy. It's called something that we had a lot of not too long ago. It's called The Rain.
While sitting here watching the rain come down, I thought of my first love when I was young, unable to know that love at first sight is blind. I stumbled on, yes, with loving care, for this first love of mine.
Remind me, darling, remind me only of you, falling from the clouds to my heart. But someday, I'll be on the top, and you'll be just somebody's fool.
I lost my first love. Yes, knowing it was love at first sight, I learned to care for a second love, thanking God for showing me the light. All this, my love, came about because of the day you were there, just standing there in the rain.
As by request for Tom Shaughnessy, the Marquees with two E's out of Philadelphia on Herb Slotkin's Grand record label, May 1956 release. It's called The Rain. The flip side is a nice tune also. Stay tuned for that next Saturday. It's called The Bells. Now, Slim Rose had a lot to do with label owner Herb Slotkin's reissuing many of the Grand sides in 1961, as this he reissued this one by the Marquees, but he spelled it Markees, and it's more of a brighter yellow. You can tell. You can definitely tell it's not the first press. A lot of the Grand releases, they're really thick, as he also second pressed a lot of the other ones, and also a lot of the other releases like the Angels. But you can tell, you really can tell, because they're really thick. And I have all the original Castells except one. Maybe many of you know that one I don't have, but I have it on a 78. Yes, I do. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the tunes here. It's our Saturday get-together from 10 to 1 a.m., so tell your friends about the Vinyl Treasure show, please subscribe to my channel and click the like button. We are expanding the vinyl community here on YouTube. So I am here on a Saturday from 10 to 1 a.m. I'll be back on a Monday with more of like a soulful show, but I'm going to feature some rockabilly records too, because it'll be more of a diverse show. But I lean soul on Mondays, so if you like soul music from the 1960s, you want to tune in, tell your friends. And kind of like you're not going to hear any of these types of group harmony records, let's put it that way. Anyway, we continue here. We are in 1956. We head to Miami, Florida. This is an old request I had sitting in the box. It's for Evan Blatt. It's on Henry Stone's Chart record label. Now, Evan requested the jump side of this. This is a great two-sided 45, by the way. And yes, Nick Nicola mentions very hard to find clean. Mine isn't that clean, but you can be the judge of that. And this was actually a theme song to one of Ronnie I's programs. I forget which one, but I used to tune into Ronnie I every week and write down the songs he would play. He was another one of the collector shows that I would listen to, and he would talk about his reissues or repros that he would have in the store. And people that were looking for these records or didn't know where to find them, you can buy I think they were $3 at the time. They might have been even as much as $1. But anyway, but he used this as a theme song. And I don't know if Howard Patton is on lead. He might be on lead on the flip. I don't know if he's on lead on the jump side, but he co-wrote this song. This one from December of 1956, The True Tones, TRU-TONES, on the Chart label by request for Evan. It's called Magic.
Magic, loving you is magic, leaving you would be tragic. You got a spell on me. Focus, you throw my heart out of focus. Then you try hocus pocus. Don't ever set me free. Lips as tender as yours should be mine as a miracle. Arms that warm so free should be holding your love tenderly, tenderly. Magic, loving you is magic, leaving you would be tragic. You hold magic. Arms that are warm and so free should be holding your love tenderly, tenderly. Magic, loving you is magic, leaving you would be tragic. You hold magic.
As by request for Evan Blatt, The True Tones, December 1956. On that one there on Henry Stone's Chart record label, song entitled Magic is the name of the tune. Interesting way that I got this record. I paid $35 for this 45. Mike Layton, one of my record friends that used to live in Mount Kisco, he was telling me about, there was someone by the name of Ed Sokol who I think bought a house somewhere further up in the Mount Kisco area, and he had records to sell. Not necessarily group harmony records, but like 60s records. And at the time I was buying everything. So he told me that everything would be $1. And I would go there. I'd rush home. I was working in White Plains for Container Transport International as a staff accountant. This is back in 1985 or 86. And, I rush home and I eat my dinner and I drive up the Sawmill River Parkway and get up to Mount Kisco, and I'd get there to his house, and he would bring me to his basement, and they were refinishing the basement. He had all these shelves at the bottom of his basement, and all these records were piled in, and I would just be going through the letters A through Z, and I was piling them up, and he used a ruler to measure these records, and I was putting them in piles of 100 or 500 or whatever, but usually I would end up spending about $1,000 every night that I would go, and I would go every other night to buy these records. So he said he had others in the closet, and he said, but you can't look at them in the closet. So one day I'm there, and he'd be playing LPs, and he was doing the New York Times crossword puzzle, and he'd be putting like an oldie compilation on, and I'd be on a ladder up at the top of these shelves pulling these records out. Then he pulled out this small batch, and he said, do you need these records? And there was this record along with some other rare one on Winley and a Rama record, I think by the Crows, but I noticed on the record that there was a name Rosen, and I knew that he knew Rich Rosen, but it wasn't Rich's name, and I think it was his sister. So I have her records in my collection. It's a Rama record, and it's also a Yellow Atlantic, because I think he bought Rich's old stock when he was set up, I think in Pennsylvania at the time. And it was funny because when I was working, I got a call because he found out that I started spending money in records. So he called me up on the phone and he says, Johnny G, he says, I understand you're a serious record collector. Well, you need to come to my store. I think he was in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. I think that's where he was. This was right before he left to go out to Las Vegas. So he says to me, Johnny, you can come here and you can look through my records, and I'll even let you can pull out $35,000 worth of 45s, and you can pay me off each month. It's no big deal. I said, well, do you have them priced? He goes, no, I don't have them priced. I'll just tell you, how much they'll cost. And I was like, I don't think I can really do it, because $35,000 sounded like a lot of money to me at the time. This was back in the 1980s. But anyway, I wasn't making that much. Anyway, Johnny G babbling on here on my record stories. Let's continue here. Now, on the last Vinyl Treasure show, I featured this group's second of 4 on the Real record label, REAL Records out of Pasadena. So Brian Korn, if you find these Real records, don't think they're really, garbage 45s, as there are a lot of garbage 45s on the Real record label, but there are 4 that are not, or at least 3 of the 4 that are not. But I played it's a label out of Pasadena, California. It was called Lonesome Heart. A Lonesome Heart by this group, Jules Savoy and the Chromatics. Now, listener Marvin Pod requested the group's third release on the Real record label. And Jules Savoy is being backed up by the Chromatics, who backed up other artists like Bob Williams, Sherry Washington, I can't read my writing. Is that Lee Wynn and this singer Jules Savoy? So by request from Marvin Pod, this is 1956. Give a listen to Jules Savoy and the Chromatics on Real. It's called Give Me the Will.
My love is shallow as a brook. in a storybook. Give me the courage not to look at another new love. This love is real because I feel a pounding and beating in my brain. Oh, give me the will to want you. Give me the right to kiss you. I know it's wrong, but give me the will to love you.
As by request for Marvin Pod there, that's Jules Savoy and the Chromatics from 1956. That's their third of four on the Real label. Give me the will. Give Johnny G the will to play my original vinyl 45s every Saturday from 10 to 1 a.m. as we continue here. And we move into 1957. Now we go to Brooklyn, New York with a request for Daniel Kubacki. This is on Danny Robinson's Holiday record label, and this was one of my aunt's favorites, my Aunt Mary, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, but she was the one that inspired me to love this music. And I just took it one step further to become a record collector. And it's the first of two for this group called the Love Notes, and the B-side to probably the label and the group's biggest hit, which was called United. But this is the better side, in my opinion. It features Johnny Hicks on lead. By request for Daniel, May 1957, these are the Love Notes on the Holiday label with their tune. It's called Tonight.
If the stars are gonna shine, oh, if you're gonna be mine, yeah, tonight, it has to happen, darling, tonight. Oh, this love will be true, yeah, will you say I do? Oh, tonight, it has to happen, darling, tonight. I believe in to go way across the sea. I'm on love, darling. Will your love belong to me? Will I be left in despair, hoping for something? Isn't there? Oh, tonight it has to happen, darling, tonight.
1957 release there by request. For Daniel Kubacki, the Love Notes, Johnny Hicks on lead, the Love Notes there with a B-side. It's called Tonight. Came out on Danny Robinson's Holiday record label, and Johnny Hicks, last week I featured him as the lead of the Ivories on the Jaguar record label. I like their other record too, If I Could Make You Mine. That's another great tune that the Love Notes do. And my aunt, she loved that album. She didn't have the 45. This is Norm's 45, plays really nice, but she had the LP. It has all these scratches, but I did get a nicer copy. Thank you, Brian, for the nicer copy as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in the year 1957. Let's go back out to the West Coast with a request for my number one California listener, and that's Mady Campboy. She requested this one on Johnny Otis's Dig record label for Little Julian Herrera. This is his second release on the label. You may know his first. It was called Lonely, Lonely Nights. Now, Mady requested the follow-up, and the uncredited group backing him up on his Dig releases really were the Premiers. And they also recorded on the Dig record label, by the way. They got some great records, but this is going out to Mady from April 57, Little Julian Herrera. Johnny Otis's Dig record label. It's called Here in My Arms.
Oh, how I miss the thrill of your embrace. I found no other love to take your place. Have I lost you forever here in my arms? Look what a quarrel has done to our romance. The clouds have hid the sun. I've lost my chance to hold you forever here in my arms. Darling, remember the moment when we were alone. You promised to be mine forever and to make your heart my home. Look what a world has done to our romance. The clouds have hid the sun. I've lost my chance to hold you forever here in my arms. Forever here in my arms.
As by request from Mady Campboy, Little Julian Herrera from April 1957. It's on Johnny Otis's Dig record label, Here in My Arms. Was a 45 I won in an auction, or maybe it was a buy it now for $60. It was like a nice mint copy. I was only worried because it was my first purchase in Canada, my first purchase in Canada, and I was kind of like a little leery that this record was coming from Canada, but anyway, came in and it plays great. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. We are in the year 1957, and speaking of Matey, last week she requested a group called the Gales, a group out of Washington, D.C., on a New York City label, or a label based out of New York City. It was called Mellow Records, and it's their first of two. It was called Guiding Angel. It was George Tompkins asked Johnny G to flip the 45 over, so we're going to do that. We send the flip out to George Tompkins, December 57. These are the Gales on the Mellow label. It's called Baby Come Home.
Doo-bop dee-dap dap, doo-bop dee-dee-dee-dip, doo-bop dee-dap dap, doo-bop dee-dee-dee-dip, doo-bop dee-dap dap, doo-bop dee-dee-dee-dip, doo-bop dee-dap dap, doo-bop dee-dap dap, dee-dap dap, doo-bop dee-dap dap, doo-bop dee-dap dap, doo-bop dee-dap dap, boom, 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 boom.
Well, baby, come on, baby, come along, baby. Why don't you come on home where you belong? Well, baby, come on, baby, come along, baby. Why don't you come on home where you belong? Well, baby, I love, baby, I need you, baby. I love you so much, baby. Love you so. I never let you go, baby. Come on, baby. Come along, baby. Why don't you come on home where you belong? You said, I said, love could be free. I know, you know that we'll love for eternity. Oh, baby, I need your love, baby. Must not love, baby. Why don't you come on home when you belong? Well, I love you, I never let you go, oh, baby. I'm not lost, baby. Now that you're home, baby. Now that you come on home.
That's going out to George Tompkins there. The Gales from December 1957 on the Mellow label, Baby Come Home. Flip side of is Guiding Angel. That is the harder of the 245s to find. Josephine is easier. This one is much harder to find on the Mellow label. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. This is a bonus request for listener Joe Shacatano. I had this sitting in the box, Joe. I decided to play it for you tonight, as Joe is a loyal listener to the 50s and early 60s edition. And this group had two releases on Juggy Murray's Sue record label. Their first release actually kicked off the label earlier in the year of 1957. It was a great song. I like both their records a lot. Vengeance was the tune. And Joe Shacatano requested their second. It features Johnny Garfield on lead. We go back to May 1957. Give a listen to the Matadors. The Matadors on the Sue label, going out to Joe Shacatano. It's called Be Good to Me.
Be good to me, 'cause I love you so tenderly, and I need you desperately. My love, be good to me. Be good to me. Well, be gentle too, 'cause my future depends on you, and my heart is trusting too. My love, be good to me. desperately. My love, be good to me. True to me as you want your lover to be, 'cause I love you endlessly. My love, be good to me. My love, be good to me.
Those are the Matadors. The Matadors on Juggy Murray's Sue record label out of New York City. That's going out to Joe Shacatano, May 1957. Song entitled Be Good to Me, and I have to thank George Tompkins for introducing me to that record. Also, both Matador records on the Sue, both releases by the Matadors on Sue, plus a couple other 1,045s that are in my collection, listening to George when he was on, when he was broadcasting out of Westchester Community College. And I used to write down all the songs, used to play 3 in a row or four record sets, and I would have to go back and remember, and I would write them down. And that's how I was collecting back then. Did it take me a while to find them? Yes, it did. It took me a lifetime to collect these 45s. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. We continue. Here we are in the year 1957. And up next, a special birthday dedication for listener Emnon. He would like to send this next song out to his wife, Bridget, for her birthday, which is tomorrow, September 12th. September 12th's her birthday, and I'm sure all of you are familiar with singer Sam Cooke. Now, his roots began in gospel as he was the lead singer of the Soul Stirrers between the years 1950 and 1956, but he wanted to record songs that were more of a secular focus, as Reed mentioned in the chat room there. But so not to really alienate his gospel fans up front, and he was on Specialty Records at the time. They released this 45 as Dale Cook, but was an alias as Sam Cooke, and he co-wrote this tune. It's a special dedication from Emnon to his wife Bridget for her birthday tomorrow. Let's go back to February 1957 for Bridget. Dale Cook, a.k.a. Sam Cooke, on Specialty, and a song entitled Lovable.
Lovable, my girl, she's lovable. She's lovable, my girl. She's so lovable. Candy sweet and honey too. There's not another quite as sweet as you. I know I'll always love you. You're so lovable. I know she's a yes she is. I know she's lovable. Oh, yes, she is. I know she's lovable. My girl is lovable. Yes, she is. Whoa, love and fascination is her middle name. To my heart, a sensational thrill she brings. Whoa, whoa. I know she's lovable. Oh, she's yes, she is. I know she's lovable. Oh, yes, she is. I know she's lovable. And I know she's lovable. Oh, yes, she is. Whoa, she's just an angel, a sweet little angel to me. When I'm without her, I know I'm in misery. Whoa, I love my girl. She's so lovable.
February 1957 release there. Art Roop Specialty record label out of California. That's Dale Cook, a.k.a. Mr. Sam Cooke, by special dedication from Emnon to his wife Bridget on her birthday tomorrow, September 12th, song entitled Lovable. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the tunes. We count them down every Saturday by year, chronologically here. If you're new to the Vinyl Treasure Show, please tell your friends. Please subscribe. Please like the video as we grow the vinyl community here on YouTube. Let's continue here. We stay in 1957 onto Johnny Vincent's Ace record label. This is a request for George Tompkins. This group is from Columbus, Ohio, and it's the group's only release. Features Huey Smith on piano. Of course, Huey Smith and the Clowns, they were the house band for Johnny Vincent's Ace record label. Also have a bunch of releases on their own on Ace Records, but this is a great tune. I love this record. I forget who I got it from, but it was somebody in Louisiana had a quantity on this record. Not a lot, but I love the song, and this is by request for George Tompkins. It features Forrest Porter on lead. July 1957. They're called the Supremes on the Ace record label. It's called Just for You and I.
We have never met the way that most young lovers do. I'll always be waiting for someone like you.
Darling, when the dawn comes up and the moon rolls by, I count each and every star, just wonder where you are. While the moonlight sings a lullaby, darling, just for you and I.
All I have is an
As by request for George Tompkins there, the Supremes. The Supremes, a group out of Columbus, Ohio, on Johnny Vincent's Ace record label, July 57, Just for You and I. Forrest Porter, he was the lead. He was also a member of the Four Pharaohs. The Four Pharaohs that do Give Me Your Love. That's actually the Columbus Four Pharaohs on the Esta label. Somebody asked Johnny G to play that 45. But that is a great tune. Yes, Joe Picker, I used to listen to on WHBI, I think it was Bobby O and Jivin' Joe. They used to have a show there. And I don't know, it was an hour or so. But he used to put out records. I don't know if he was, I remember one was called Sacky Lacky Wacky on the Vega label, and that one came out, I think, it was, of course, on a bootleg Ace label. It was like a white label. But anyway, a lot of the guys put out records back then. That was the gimmick. You can sell them to the collectors. And they weren't that expensive. They were a couple bucks. Anyway, Johnny G here spinning original vinyl 45s. Let's move into 1958 as we go to Jamaica, Queens for this next group. And a request for Matey Campboy. Yes, it's on George Goldner's G record label, as they had 14 releases on G Records between 1955 and 1962. They actually made a return trip back to G Records in the early 60s, but this is their 8th release. Matey requested their 8th release, co-written by the lead singer Herbie Cox. They're called the Cleftones. You know the Cleftones. This is going out to Matey here, January 58, the Cleftones on G. It's called Lover Boy.
Lover boy, whoop, wee, whoop, lover boy, whoop, wee, whoop, lover boy.
Well, if your lover has a roving eye, you'd better take her and get her wise, 'cause there's a guy I know, they call him Lover Boy, and he'll steal her just like a toy.
Keep her by his side, let her be a bride. Listen to me.
And if your sweetheart likes to run around, you'd better take her and tie her down. All of the boy will surely steal her heart away. Believe me when I say,
keep her by your side, make her be a bride. Please, please listen to me. Well, it's love from May to Timbuktu.
say what? He'll steal your girl from you.
You'll find him almost anywhere. So, brother, you better beware.
And if your lover has a roving eye, you'd better take her and get her wise. All of the boy will surely steal her heart away. Believe me when I say,
keep her by your side.
oh yeah.
Listen to me. Well, he's known from May to Timbuktu.
I say what? He'll steal your girl from you.
You'll find him almost anywhere. So, brother, you better beware.
And if your sweetheart likes to run around, you'd better take her and tie her down. All of the boy will surely steal her heart away. Believe me when I say,
keep her by your side.
oh yeah.
Listen to me.
And if your lover has a roving eye, you better take her and get her wise. All of the boy will surely steal her heart away. Believe me when I say,
keep her by your side.
oh yeah.
Listen to me.
One more time now.
Keep her by your side.
oh yeah.
Listen to me.
Getting real soft.
Keep her by your side.
oh yeah.
Listen to me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Keep her by your side.
January 1958 release there by the Cleftones by request for Matey Campboy, George Goldner's G record label. Lover Boy is the name of the two. My aunt had two Cleftone records in her collection, or when she bought at the store. She bought Can't We Be Sweethearts? That I still have the copy. That I will always cherish that 45. It's in G condition. And I Love You for Sentimental Reasons. Somehow I broke that 45, but I got like 3 copies, somewhere here in the No Humidity basement or down in the No Humidity basement. Anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We head to the Bahamas next for this next 45, a request for both Nick Nicola and George Tompkins. This group would later on record as the sensational Delos on the Mida record label. I featured that 45 last week. It was called Lost Love. That was a request for George Tompkins, but prior to that, they were known as the Delos, DELL-OS. And here they are on the UC label, and they're backing up a singer by the name of John Shaw. So let's send this one out to George and Nick, July 58. John Shaw and the Delos on the UC label with a song entitled Why Did You Leave Me?
Why did you leave me? Why did you go? No, my little darling, I love you so. Why did you leave me? Why did you ever go? My heart, why, my little darling, why did we part? Why did you leave me? Why did you break my heart? You know, when you left me, you broke my heart. Why did you leave me? Why did we part? Why did you leave me? Why did you break my heart? Now that we parted, I miss you so. Lonely heart is wondering, where did you go? Why did you leave me? Why did you have to go?
That's going out to Nick and George there, John Shaw and the Delos out of the Bahamas on the UC record label, July 1958. Why Did You Leave Me is the name of the tune, a rare 45. I remember I bought that from Ralph Barton at one of the Allentown, PA shows, and unfortunately Ralph passed away a number of years ago. He used to come up with some pretty cool records, not always in the great shape, but he used to have some. I did get some nice ones like the Sylvester Stewart on the Luke label, and I also have the other one, which is good with the different flip. Anyway, Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue here. We are in the year 1958. We go to Brooklyn, New York, to Andy Leonetti's Safari record label. It's the debut single for this group called The Chessmen, although if you noticed on the label, there is a spelling error. They're called Chessman, M-A-N. They messed that up. That's a typo. Johnny G has a typo. Eddie pointed out I have a typo in my title. I have to fix in the title of my Vinyl Treasure Show. That's probably for last week, too. I apologize for that. I will have to edit that. I can when it posts. But anyway, this is a great two-sided 45. I had a warped, cracked copy of this that's been sold for me. It played. It wasn't so bad, but he got me $200 for a cracked, warped copy of this record. It's not that easy to find, and I was lucky with a buy it now in the early days of eBay for this record. And I won't tell you the price because it was a steal, to be honest with you. But anyway, I love both sides of this record. The lead singer of this group, his name is Bobby Fuentes. Bobby Fuentes. We're going to feature the up-tempo side this week on the Safari label, 1958. They're really the Chessmen on Safari. It's called Why. On the Safari label from 1958, they're called the Chessmen. Although it's spelled Chessman, it's on the Safari record label, song entitled Why. Bobby Fuentes, he's the lead singer on that one, and this the group later on, well, actually they have another release I played not too long ago on Mirasonic. Did I play the ballad side? I think I played Doo-Wop for Tom Shaughnessy. Maybe I did play the ballad side too on Mirasonic, but they would later on become the Prelude 5 on the Pick label. Johnny G here on a Saturday, and thank you all for tuning into the Vinyl Treasure Show. Be sure to tell your friends, especially if they're collectors of this great music that we listen to every Saturday night. And we continue here. We are in 58, and this is a request for listener Joe Shakatana. We go back to Vivian Carter's VJ record label. There is a West Coast connection on this 45. Those of you that quickly saw the label, the writer credit and production, actually it was produced by Aki Aliong. Aki Aliong also owned the Pan World label. It's actually his publisher on this, and he also owned the Trans-American label. The group is called the Ravels, Ravels, or Ravels, however you want to say it, and I'm pretty sure the one of the other writer is the lead singer of this song. His name is Willie Denson, Denson, probably best known for writing the Shirelles' big hit "Mama Said" plus others, but he also had solo releases. I have a couple, or one that he does on the May label for I think 61, but he supposedly is the lead singer of this group called the Revels, and this is by request for Joe Shacatano, December 1958 on the VJ record label, the Revels, going out to Joe. It's called Lonely One.
I'm the lonely one tonight. You're the love that was right. Since you went away, I spend each restless day as the lonely one. Oh, the lonely one. I'm the lonely one tonight. Why did you ever fool me and tell me that we'd never part? Why did you ever leave me alone with the broken heart? Oh, I'm the lonely one tonight. Now I know you were right. So please hurry home, so I just won't be known as the lonely one. Oh, the lonely one. I'm the lonely one tonight.
As by request for Joe Shacatano. I haven't played that in a long, long time. The Revels' December 1958 release on the VJ record label, Lonely One, is the name of the tune. Aki Aliong involved in that record, and don't know what the connection is. I got to look into that a little bit more, but that is a cool tune. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. We're spinning my original vinyl 45s. Thank you all for joining our vinyl community get-together. Every Saturday night from 10 to 1 a.m. we count down the music chronologically here. Let's continue now with a girl group from Passaic, New Jersey. You all know the Shirelles, but this is a request for listener Daniel Kubacki. They did 3 for the Decca record label. Now, Daniel requested their third, which was co-written and produced by Stan Green, who was the son of Scepter record owner Florence Greenberg. Now, this side features Doris Coley Kenner. She's on lead. So this is by request for Daniel, October 58 on the Decca label. These are the Shirelles with their tune called Stop Me.
Stop me if you've heard this before. Oh, baby, you're the one I adore. Stop me if my love is too strong. Oh, baby, in my heart you belong.
Those are the Shirelles, their third release on the Decca label by request for Daniel. October 58, Stop Me is the name of that one. Doris Coley-Kenner, she's the lead singer on that one. We continue here on a Saturday evening, and we stay in 1958 as we go back to Brooklyn, New York, with a request for Nat Papagallo, listening in Naples, Florida, and he wanted to hear the Young Tones. This is the same group that recorded on Ben Smith's Extra record label. Now, somehow they had this release on Brunswick. I really don't know how that one happened, but it features Johnny Marcy on lead. This is by request for Nat. Nat, do you have this in your jukebox? Maybe you do. August 58 on the Brunswick label, the Young Tones with Oh, Tell Me.
Slammed the door, said we were through. I didn't know what I did to you. Oh, tell me why we're apart. You said goodbye, left me all alone. I sit and cry, no one for my own. Oh, tell me why we're apart. You know what I give for just one kiss. Surely you must realize, if I'm the one who's been wrong, I apologize, I'll wait for you. Please come back to me. You have my heart for eternity. Oh, tell me why we're
As going out to Nat Papagallo there, the Young Tones, Johnny Marcy and the Young Tones. August 1958's on the Brunswick label. I have it on the yellow promo. It's probably harder on the stock copy for sure. I think Nick Nicola posted one that he probably had in his collection. The Young Tones there with Oh, Tell Me. Oh, tell Johnny G what you like to hear. Send me a request at vinyltreasures@aol.com. You can also send me requests for my Monday night show beginning at 8 o'clock, 8 to 11 p.m., as I just play records ad hoc. I don't do... Charlene doesn't help me. I give her a night off on Monday night so she can just sit back and enjoy the All 60's edition. But we continue here, and we move into 1959. Now, on last week's Vinyl Treasure show, I featured the Supremes, a group out of Roxbury, Massachusetts, on the Kitten label, and George Tompkins requested the side, Could This Be You? I think, George, you also requested the flip side, so we're going to spin it right now from March of 59. It features Ralph Murphy on lead. These are the Supremes, different than the Supremes that you heard earlier on the Ace label. That group was out of Ohio. This group is out of Roxbury, Massachusetts. March 59, the Supremes on Kitten, going out to George. It's called Margie.
Hey, baby, come over here. I got a story that I want you to hear.
You're the girl for me. Well, I saw a little kitten walking down the street. I gazed at her, she looked so naked. Well, as for Marge, she is the one for me.
for me. I said, hey there, Daddy, I dig your style. Let's get together and we'll talk a little while. I'll ask my mom, she's the one for me. For me. She's the cutest little thing in the world, and I'll never let her go. Now, my dear, you're for me. My dear, I love you so. We're gonna rock, we're gonna have a swinging time. Well, that's my girl, she sure is fine. Well, that's my Margie, she's the one for me. She's the cutest little thing in the world, and I'll never, never let her go. Well, now, my dear, you're for me. My dear, I love you so. We're gonna rock, we're gonna have a swinging time. Well, that's my girl, she sure is fine. Well, that's my Margie, she's the one for me. Good, good, Margie.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show by request for George the Supremes. Ralph Murphy and the Supremes, March 59 release on the Kitten label, song entitled Margie, the flip of Could This Be You? Yes, it could be Johnny G on a Saturday right here on YouTube, 10 to 1 a.m. And let's stay in 59 as we head out to Los Angeles, California with a request for Marvin Pod. This is a rare 45, came out on the Noble record label. This group all met while they were attending L.A. Trade Technical College, and this is their second release on the Noble label and by far their hardest record. It features William Gardner on lead. By request for Marvin Pod, 1959, these are the Tabs. The Tabs on Noble with their tune called Oops.
Oops, to my surprise,
I fell in love with you.
oops, to my surprise,
What else could I do? See you in the dark, walking through the park. I fell for you.
oops, to my surprise,
We sat for a while.
oops, to my surprise,
You gave me a sweet smile, holding you so close. Oh, it's the most I felt for you.
oh, did you ever overpower me? This past winter, shine me for the greatest feeling that I've ever had. To want oops, to my surprise,
We walked down the aisle.
oops, to my surprise,
There's heaven in your eyes, darling, when you talk so softly as we walk. I fell for you. Oh yes, I fell.
That's by request for Marvin Pod. Those are the Tabs. That's that's actually their follow-up to Never Forget, which is a good tune that you can also get on the Gardena label, but originally on the Noble label, and that's their second release, Oops, on Noble Records there, 1959. We are in the year 1959 as we stay in California. This time we head out to Long Beach, California, with a request for Tom Shaughnessy. Now, this group was named after the new Buick model that came out that year. Does anybody remember the 1959 Buick Invicta? How did the Buick Invictas drive? They weren't as big as the Cadillacs. Were they as big as the Cadillacs? I don't know. Hence, they were known as the Invictas. And this is on Jack Wenzel's Jack B label out of Downey, California. And this is by request for Tom Shaughnessy. It features John Perkins on lead. We go back to July 1959, the Invictas on Jack B, and their tune called Gone So Long.
Yes, you've been gone so long. I want you to come back home to Italy.
Gone so long, and I want you to come back home. I know done you wrong, and I want you to come on back home.
Bum bum bum, bum bum bum.
Gone so long, and I've got tears in my eyes. No, you real old lie, and I want you to come on back home.
Come back home, come back home.
I never knew anyone like you. I never knew I could love somebody like you.
You've been gone.
Gone so long, and I've got tears in my eyes. I know the old lie. I want you to come on back home.
As by request for Tom Shaughnessy there, those are the Invictas. The Invictas from July 1959. It's on the Jack B record label. That's the first press. Gone So Long is the name of the tune. It was re-released on Vault Records in 1963 as Sonny Patterson and the Invictas, but that is a made-up name. The lead singer on this is John Perkins. I don't know why he decided to call himself Sonny Patterson, but the flip side, I think, is like a surf record, if I'm not mistaken. Interesting. Johnny G here, spinning my original vinyl 45s. We are in the year 1959, and we go back to New Haven, Connecticut. I featured the Scarlets earlier in the show on the Red Robin record label, Dear One. Well, this group returns again, no, not as the Five Satins, but as the Wildwoods this time. And this is a request for a listener, Joe Shacatano. And this tune co-written by the lead singer. His name is Fred Paris, of course. He returns again. This one from August 59. Joe requested the Wildwoods. The Wildwoods on the Caprice label with their tune called Heart of Mine.
There's just 2 more blocks to go. The house is number 4. mine. As you walk up to her door, the thrills you're waiting for will all be yours tonight. Take it easy, heart of mine. Everything will be alright. Yes, alright. Hand in hand, we'll stroll along the road to happiness. I'll be at your side both night and day, and you'll never, never know loneliness. Now you see the angel there. Well, here is your chance. Show her just how much you care on this night made for romance.
Those are the Wildwoods. Fred Paris on lead, the Wildwoods. I guess we can call them the Five Satins. But to June 59, no, I'm sorry, August 59 on the Caprice label, song entitled Heart of Mine. And I was introduced to that record, actually not that side, but the flip side, when the Swallows come back to Capistrano, because Gus Gossard used to play that quite a bit on his Gus Gossard show. I used to tune in when he was on WPIX. Let's continue, FM. Let's continue here. We are in the year 1959. Up next, a request for our New Zealand listener, Eddie Brown. And this is a solo effort for X-Lark's lead singer, and that be Gene Mumford here, who signed with Columbia Records to release 3, and Eddie requested his 3rd. This is a tune written by Barry Dvorzan, It's with Hank Levine and the orchestra. I like both sides of this record, by the way. This is from June of 59. This is going out to Eddie Brown. Gene Mumford on Columbia with his tune called Come What May.
If the wind should never blow and the rivers stop their flow, come what may, my love will stay the same. If the stars desert the sky and the oceans all run dry, come what may, my love will stay the same. This love of mine will always be tender, warm, and true. This love of mine will never change. This a pledge to you. Oh, though someday we'll both grow old, in my heart I'll always know, come what may, my love will stay. Though
the great Gene Mumford there, the ex-lead singer of the Larks there on the Columbia label by request. For Eddie Brown, listening in New Zealand there, June 1959, Come What May is the name of that one. We are in the year 1959, and we continue with the request this time for listener Andrew Turner, who is in our YouTube chat room, as this is a group of brothers. They were all from Washington, D.C. They were Andy Horace, Warren Amos, and Adolphus Scott. Collectively, they were known as the Scott Brothers, and Andrew featured their first of two on Jerry Field's Skyline record label. We go back to May 1959. These are the Scott Brothers going out to Andrew on Skyline Records. I love this tune. It's called Part of You.
Send me your picture, the one you threw away, one of your earrings you used to wear each day. Anything, long as it's part of you. Send me a recipe of the thing you used to cook. Send me your bracelet or your worn-out school book. Anything, long as it's part of you. Send me a letter, say I'm your fella. C.O.D. plus the poor. Please don't worry about, tell to send some more to the one who loves her well. And in the letter, tell me dear that you'll be true. You will love me, and we can start anew. Anything, long as it's part of you. Send me a letter, send a letter, C.O.D. for the poor. Please don't run about, tell her to send some more to the one who loves her well. And in that letter, tell me that you'll be true. You will love me, and we can start anew. Anything, long as it's part of you. Part of you, part of you.
They're liking that one there in the YouTube chat room. That's the request for Andrew Turner, the Scott Brothers, from May 1959 on the Skyline record label. Part of You is the name of the tune. I remember buying that one. I used to go to Times Square Records when they were located in Dobbs Ferry, New York. Used to go every Saturday. I used to go in the store, and Glenn Fausel, he would be there in front of the computer, and I would bring the Silver Kreider book. When did the Silver Kreider book come out? A long time ago. And I would read through the labels, and he would call them up on the computer, and I'd say, Glenn, I'm looking for the Scott Brothers on the Skyline record label. He goes, well, Louie's got a copy for $15. I said, well, that's a deal. I'll take it. It's in the book for 10. I mean, in the silver book, they were in there really cheap back then. Well, compared to nowadays, they were cheap. But anyway, Johnny G babbling on. We are in the year 1959 as we head to the Bronx, New York. This is a bonus request. A bonus request from my number one California listener, Mady Campway, because she requested this one a long time ago, is finally able to find a copy. Not in the greatest shape, but I'm happy to get this rare 45 on the Dice label, really owned by Zell Sanders. I think she really put it in her daughter's name, Johnny Louise Richardson. Of course, Johnny Louise, the other half of Johnny and Joe. But it's a cover song. This song was first done by Dennis Brown and the Atomics on the Atomic label, but this is a very cool version too that was requested by Matey. It features Shirley Bryant on lead. Let's go back to February of 1959. These are the Teen Clefs. The Teen Clefs on the Dice label, going out to Matey. It's called Hiding My Tears, parentheses, with a Smile.
Everywhere I go, my friends, they all know that I'm not the same. I try to regain that my downright way, but I'm crying my tears with a smile. Oh, 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 I can understand why we are apart. I gave you all my love and you broke my heart. I'll still be gay for as long as I may. I'm just hiding my tears with a smile. As I go on, wearing a smile, keeping up this crazy disguise. All the while, I'm thinking that I'm right. I'm just living in all a great big lie. Oh, I can't understand why we are apart. I gave you all my love and you broke my heart. I'll still be gay for as long as I may. I'm just hiding my tears with a smile. With a
As by request from Matey Campoy there, those are the Teen Clefs. February 1959 on the Dice label, Hiding My Tears, parentheses, with a Smile, Shirley Bryant. She's the lead singer on that, and this group first recorded as the Avalons on the Dice label. I have that 45. I can feature it here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And she also does a duet with her sister. Her sister, her name is Shirley, Shirley and Willie. Her sister's name is Willie Bryan. I don't have that 45. That might be a pretty interesting 45 to get. Maybe, I'm missing that one and the Shalons on the Dice label. And this was a birthday present. Johnny G treated himself to a birthday present on that 45, but I wish it was in better shape. But unfortunately, haven't really a rare 45. Haven't seen it ever, really, in so many years. But listen, I'm happy to have it. Johnny G here, spinning original vinyl 45s. We are in the year 1959, and let's go to the Ray Cox record label here with a request for Joe Shacatano by this group called the Sunsets. I have no information on this group. I know there is, I was looking when I was pulling this record out, I had another Sunsets group on the Challenge label. It was called Playmate of the Year. I will feature that on my All 60s show on Monday evening, but this is definitely a different group called the Sunsets. It's from July of 1959. 1959. This is the intended A-side, and this was a quarter purchase. I paid a quarter for this 45. Found it somewhere locally here at some flea market or garage sale. It's nice and clean too. By request for Joe, July 59, The Sunsets on Ray Cox. It's called How Will I Remember?
How will I remember when you said we were through? Lying lips, I remember. Roll my heart into just a kiss in the moonlight when I fell for you. Just a fool to remember I'm still in love with you. In love with you. As I sit by my window with nothing to do, just holding my heart dear. Memories of you. Yes, it hurts to remember when I said we were through. For each tear that I shed, dear, brings back the memories of you. Memories of you.
They're called The Sunsets. The Sunsets by request for Joe Shacatano, July 1959 on the Ray, R-A-E space C-O-X, Ray Cox Records. Out of New York, pretty sure it's out of New York City. How will I remember? Well, how you will remember is you can always go to the Vinyl Treasures archive. You can go to my website, vinyltreasures.net. You can stream or download the show there. Also, it will be available on YouTube. The archive is always there. Thank you all for going to the archive. I had I think on my a couple weeks ago, like 575 people have gone to watch that video. Thank you all for tuning in on the archive. Let's continue here. We move into 1960 now with a request for Nick Nicola. We head back to Los Angeles, California for this group called the Tuxedos, who are really the Hollywood Saxons. This is on George Mottola's Forte record label. The tune written by group members Charles Taggart and the lead singer on this, his name is Stan Beverly, and I have this one on the Gold Forte label. It's also, I think, it also came out, I think, on the yellow reissue, but the true first presses, I think, have small print. I remember winning this, didn't pay a lot of money for it, but I won it on a John Tefteller auction, one of his gold mine auctions, oh so many years ago. But this is going out to Nick Nicola, September 1960. Give a listen to the Tuxedos on the Forte label. It's called Yes, It's True.
There's one thing for sure. You don't believe me. You keep asking me, is it really true?
It's true.
I love you,
and you alone. I want to be my darling. King of the throne, I will show
Sound of California here on the Vinyl Treasure Show by request. For Nick Nicola, The Tuxedos, Stan Beverly on lead, their September 1960 release on the Forte label. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. Johnny G only plays original vinyl 45s out of his collection, so thank you all being part of the show tonight, part of the vinyl community. Thank you all for your requests and your continued support here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We continue now, and we continue with more requests. This one here is for Matey Campboy, as this singer's real name was Glenn Stillwell, but he recorded as Glenn Wells, and Matey requested his second release, second of 5, that came out on the Gin label. It's a song he wrote. This charted number 5, regionally number 5 on KTRM out of Beaumont, Texas. Bobby in Texas, Beaumont, Texas. You remember hearing this on the radio? It was a big number 5 record on KTRM, but it's a request for Matey Campboy. June 1960, Glenn Wells and the Blends on the Gin label. It's called You're Mine Tonight for Matey.
The moon's out tonight, stars shining bright. I'm holding you tight. You're mine tonight. I know that it's wrong to hold you so tight, but after all, you're mine tonight. I know, my darling, that it's wrong to hold you the way that I do. I wish I could stop you, but I know that I can, and I don't think you want me to. I know that it's wrong to hold you so tight, but after all, you're mine tonight. The moon's out tonight. I'm holding you tight. Stars shining bright, and you're mine tonight.
That's Glenn Wells and the Blends by request for Matey Campboy, June 1960 on the Gin record label. You're Mine Tonight is the She losing his mind is the name of the tune as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, last week I played a request for George Tompkins, the debut single by the Dream Lovers on Buddy Caldwell's Len record label. The song was called Take It From a Fool, which was the intended B-side of the 45. So I couldn't file this one back down in the No Humidity basement unless I played the A-side, because it's a great two-sided 45 in my opinion. It was written by the lead singer. His name is Donald Hogan. This one from January of 1960. The Dream Lovers, their first release on Len Records. It's called For the First Time.
Girl
Those are the Dream Lovers out of Philadelphia, PA, on Buddy Caldwell's Len record label. An excellent two-sided 45, to say the least. Now, January 60 release, For the First Time, is the name of that tune. At the flip side, an excellent ballad, Take It From a Fool. Take it from Johnny G. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes here every Saturday. Thank you all for your requests. I have such talented listeners that know the music. They know good sounds here, and we feature them here every Saturday. Thank you all for being part of the show and your contributions to the vinyl community. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We move into 1961 now, to the New York City Diamond record label for a request for George Tompkins. It's the first of two for this group, and this is the intended B-side, which is the better side, in my opinion. The A-side is like kind of a novelty tune. It's okay, but this is the side, and the group is called The Originals, by request for George Tompkins. October 61, The Originals on Diamond. It's called At Times Like This.
Times like this, when the violins are playing, all the tender things you're saying becomes a rhapsody of times like this, when the moon of love is shining, I can see a silver lining in the dark clouds above. With your first tender kiss, there's a feeling of bliss that you start. And as we kissed again, I could feel from within every beat of your heart. At times like this, when you whisper that you love me, all the stars that shine above me becomes a galaxy of
October 1961 release there, the first of two for a group known as The Originals on the Diamond record label. At Times Like This, Reed mentioned it, their other release is also excellent. It's called You and I, which is another cool tune on the Diamond label by this group. Let's continue here. We are in 1961. Let's flip over that rare 45 I featured last week on the Monogram label by a group called the Citadels, and I featured their excellent East LA ballad. It was called Let's Fall in Love. Let's give a listen to the flip side. This one from November of 1961. They're called the Citadels on the Monogram record label. Their tune is called When You Said Goodbye.
Take that vow. So come on
eternity. Do you remember those dark and starry nights when we used to sit holding each other tight? You said you love me, you love me so. You said you need me, you never let me go. But I found, honey, that they were lies when you said goodbye. Do you remember those dark and starry nights when we used to sit holding each other tight? And you said you loved me, you love me so. You said you need me, you never let me go. But I found, honey, that they were lies when you said goodbye. When you say goodbye, when you say bye, 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 bye. When you say bye, 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 baby, bye, bye, bye.
That's a rare 45 on the Monogram label by a group called the Citadels. November 1961, that's the flip side of Let's Fall in Love. It's When You Said Goodbye. Started off as a ballad, then it sped up real fast. Got to thank Mike Noriega selling me that record a long, long time ago. And I'm glad that he offered me that 45. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening as we continue here. Up next, a request for Tom Shaughnessy, as this 45 was first issued on Herbert C. Kane's, with a C, but his label is with a K, Kane label by the Implacables in 1960. And unfortunately, I don't have that 45. I have the second press. The second press, which came out on actually Herbert C. Kane's Psy record label, CY Records. So this is kind of like a reissue or second press of it, but it was only second press because the lead singer of the Implacables, after he left that group, he joined the Drifters to replace Benny King when Benny King left. So the label owner decided to re-release the record around that time when he joined the Drifters, and he put it out under the lead singer's name, Johnny Williams. Unfortunately, I don't have the first press on Kane, so we're going to have to settle for the second press. But this is actually a request for Tom Shaughnessy, and his name is Johnny Williams. Johnny Williams, he was also a member of the Drifters. This one is from March of 1961. Johnny Williams, a.k.a. the Implacables, IMPLACBLES. This came out in 1960 on Kane. The labels look somewhat identical, and somebody said it was from 1970. It is not. There is no zip code on this address. So this record was released in March of 1961 on the Psy label. It's the second press, going out to Tom Shaughnessy. It's called My Foolish Pride.
I'm sitting here wondering with tears in my eyes. Yes, my darling, why must I cry when it's only my foolish pride? If you could come back and dry these tears, my life would be so happy, I promise you, my dear, and there'd be no
As by request for Tom Shaughnessy, my copy says Johnny Williams. It's really the Implacables. The Implacables came out in 1960 on the Kane label. This is on the CY label, a label also owned by Herbert C. Kane with a K. March 61 release, My Foolish Pride. Johnny G, which is out of Mobile, Alabama, by the way. Johnny G has no foolish pride. I have all my pride, I do, and I'm glad you tuned into the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's continue now as we are in 1961. Now, on last week's Vinyl Treasure Show, I featured a group known as the Veltones out of Philadelphia, played the A-side of on the Lost Night label, which was really the first label for this song. It was the up-tempo side called Now, and the flip side, I think, Evan, you requested the flip side. Evan Blatt and also Andrew Turner mentioned to flip this 45 over. This group was discovered by band leader Al Brown. Al Brown made so many great discoveries during his career, and he wrote both sides, and of course, he's providing the instrumentation with his band. And this is a nice ballad. It's going out to Andrew and Evan. This one from April 61. I have it on the Lost Night label. You also may own it on the second press, Tomorrow Records. These are the Veltones with I Need You So. One of the discoveries of Mr. Al Brown, the Veltones there, April 61. Great two-sided 45 on the Lost Night record label. This one also comes on red vinyl, and if I find a red vinyl, I will definitely pick it up. The Veltones there with I Need You So. Johnny G here, spinning original vinyl 45s. We head back to Brooklyn, New York. This is a request for Tom Shaughnessy, and he wanted to hear the Paragons, first recorded for the Winley folks, and they left to record 3 for the Tap label. And Tom requested their second. This actually charted on Billboard. This was a number 82 record on Billboard, and it features John May on lead. They do a nice rendition of the Cole Porter classic. It's going out to Tom Shaughnessy, April 61. The Paragons on the Tap label, although it says November on this record. And Charlene, we got April 61. Is that what Ferdy Gonzalez had? I'll show you the stampers on here. The The stampers say November 61. That's odd. But we have April 61 here. The Paragons on tap with their... Oh, no, that's actually the wrong... that's actually the wrong song. I have If. That may be correct. Because he requested 2. I was only going to feature 1. So it's probably November 61. I copied the wrong one in. I'm sorry, folks, but these are the Paragons, and it is with John May on lead. Begin the Begin is the name of the tune. It's going out for Tom.
When they begin the begin, it brings back the sound of music so tender. It brings back a night of tropical splendor. It brings back a memory evergreen. I'm with you once more under the stars. And down by the shore, an orchestra's playing, and even the palm seems to be swaying. When they begin the begin to live it again, is past all endeavor. Except when that tune clutches my heart, and there we are swearing to love forever and promising never, never to part. What moments divine, what rapture serene. Till clouds came along to disperse the joys we had tasted. And now when I hear people curse the chance that was wasted, I know but too well what they mean. So don't let them begin to begin. Let them play. Begin the begin. Oh yes, let them begin the begin. Let them play. Tell the stars that will return above you. Tell you whisper to me once more, darling, I love you. And we suddenly know what heaven we're in, when they begin the begin.
By request for Tom Shaughnessy there, the Paragons from November 1961 on the Tap record label. Their rendition of the tune Begin the Begin is the name of the tune. So many groups have recorded that tune. Yes, they have. Let's continue here. We move into 1962 as we head out to Pontiac, Michigan, with a request for Nick Nicola. This is on a label called Mail Call. Believe it or not, I have another record on this label by the Sierras. I think it's called Chance Part 1 or Part 2. And then I have another record that I forget what it is. But these are pressed by RCA, so they have to be machine stamped. So you know you have the original. But this is on the Mail Call label. The group is called The Clocks and the Classmen. What a cool name for a group, I'd say. But, and let's say that Luther Bond and the Emeralds, 1955 Savoy released, probably inspired this group to record this song. So by request for Nick Nicola, this one from 1962 on the Mail Call label, these are The Clocks and the Classmen with their tune called It's Written.
It's written in the stars, you and I will love. Written on the moon that shines above. Shines above. It's written on the seas, in the rain and snow. Written everywhere, the four winds blow. Four winds blow. Let them talk, my love. Yet we will walk, my love. Go hand in hand, my love, until the ending of time. So let the winds blow on, let the seas roll on. What is written there cannot be changed, cannot be changed.
They're called the Clocks and the Classmen with a song entitled "It's Written." Inspired, has to be inspired by that Luther Bond and the Emeralds song, written in the what, Johnny, you losing his place here? Yeah, Luther Bond and the Emeralds do "Written in the Stars." That song called "It's Written." It definitely is, because it sounds just like that song. 1962 on the Mail Call record label, "It's Written." Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. A couple weeks ago, maybe a few weeks ago, played a request for George Tompkins. He requested the Utopians, their second of three on the Imperial label. The ballad side, it was called "Along My Lonely Way." The flip side is an up-tempo written by group members Carl Gilbert, where one group member was Carl Gilbert. I think he also might be the lead singer on this. This is from September 62. Give a listen to the Utopians on Imperial. It's called "Hurry to Your Date."
Run, the Papa Dooley, run, son. Run, the Papa Dooley, run, son. Run, the Papa Dooley, run, son. Run, you gotta run. Oh, run, little girl. Get in a hurry, but don't worry, try to keep your date. Whoa, run, little boy. Remember the girl you love is waiting for you in the park. Met about 2 days ago in that corner picture show. I did my eyes to the cap, smiled and said, "Oh, so run, run on, run on, run on." Run, the Papa Dooley, run, son. Run, the Papa Dooley, run, son. Run, you gotta run.
September 1962 release there for the Utopians. The Utopians on the Imperial record label, Hurry to Your Date, Dave the Rave. That's the name of the tune as we continue here. Not going to keep you that long, George, so maybe I'll just give you a little note because we're almost done here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We'll be in Vinyl Treasure Overtime in a few minutes, but I have a few more 45s to go here. And this next tune was extensively played by Gus Gossert on the Gus Gossert Show when I used to tune in when he was on WPIX-FM. And it is a request for Evan Blatt. The group is out of Louisville, Kentucky, and it features Robert Little Pete Downs on lead. So this is going out to Evan, August 62, Little Pete and the Youngsters on the Leslie label. The name of the tune is called You Told Another Lie. August 62 release there for Little Pete and the Youngsters. On the Leslie label, You Told Another Lie, featuring Robert Little Pete Downs on lead. I remember when the first time, I know not the original, but I bought a bootleg. I was in high school and I paid 75 cents. I forget, it was a disco disc that would put out those 75 cents reproductions. And it was, remember, it was on a white label. I sold it, believe it or not. I put a list in Goldmine when I got the original, and I got good money for some of those bootlegs that I paid only $1 or 75 cents for. People were giving me like $10 and $15. I thought that was way too much, but they really wanted to win them. I remember it was a white label, which was not real. I've never seen the promo of that, but that's also another RCA press there for that record. Johnny G babbling on here as we are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Now, in last week's Vinyl Treasure Show, I played a request for George by the Enchanters. They were out of New Jersey. This was on the the Epson label. It was a great ballad. It was called I Need Your Love, but that was the intended B-side. Listener Daryl Letts asked Johnny G to flip it over, give a listen to the A-side here. The interesting thing on this is that the label is calling this a pop song. And the flip side, I'll show it to you again after I play it. The flip side, they call it R.B for R&B. Very interesting. But anyways, from March 62, the Enchanters on the Epson label going out to Daryl. It's called Goddess of Love.
Oh, you must be Venus, oh goddess of love, 'cause I'd rather love you than anyone I can think of. So I call you Venus, oh my goddess of love. The angels must have sent you from heaven above. Yes, for me. Goddess of love. So won't you tell me you are my lover for an eternity? I have discovered. Oh, you must be Venus, oh goddess of love. I'd rather love you than anyone I can think of. Of love. So won't you tell me you are my lover, I have discovered, oh, you must be Venus, oh goddess of love. I'd rather love you than anyone I can think of. Of love. So I'll call you Venus, oh my goddess of love. Venus, wonderful Venus, goddess of love.
That's going out to Daryl Letts there. Those are the Enchanters on the Epson label, March 1962, Goddess of Love. That is the pop side, according to them. And the flip side, I Need Your Love, is the R&B side. Interesting. But anyway, let's continue. Here we are in 1962. We go back to Philadelphia, PA, with a request for Joe Shacatano, a rare 45. Came out on the Taba label out of Philadelphia, and it's by an artist by the name of Billy Lane, and there is an uncredited group backing him up on this. They are Rick and the Masters backing up Billy Lane on this one, a rare 45 on the Taba label. 1962, going out to Joe, Billy Lane with Beginner in Love.
So humble on this doorstep to paradise. Take my hand, ageless assassin that lovers often speak about. I feel for the first time deep down within, it's love, yes it's love, and it makes me wanna shout. My eager heart beats just like a hammer. It keeps pounding with new delight. You gave life that's filled with new glamour to this beginner in love.
I'm a beginner in love. I'm a beginner in love.
My eager heart beats just like a hammer. It keeps pounding with new delight. You gave life that's filled with new glamour to this beginner in love.
1962 release there for Billy Lane. Billy Lane and Rick and the Masters backing him up on that Tabba release there. Beginner in Love. Johnny G is not a beginner in record collecting, that is for sure. Thank you all for tuning in to the Vinyl Treasure Show as we continue here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. We stay in 62, and a couple of weeks ago I featured a request for Mady Campboy. She requested Jerry Carmen. Jerry Carmen on the Barish label out of Brooklyn, New York. Nice version of the Marvin and Johnny tune Cherry Pie, but let's give a spin to the flip side before it goes back down in the no humidity basement. Excuse me, this tune written by the singer Jerry Carmen, 1962 on Barish Records. It's called Could This Be Love? Whoops, wrong one.
Could this be love that has walked into my life? Could this be love? Love in which I sacrifice. And if this is love, no, I've told my dream, maybe my true love. Oh, goodbye. Could this be dream that I held you tight? Could this be a dream? Dream that I kiss you goodnight. And if this is love, no, 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 don't run away. Come back, my darling. Come back and stay. Could this be love? Love that I never had. Could this be love? Love in which I never felt. And if this is love, no, 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 I won't cry. I won't let my golden chance go by.
That's on the Barish label, 1962. Jerry Carmen is his name. Could This Be Love is the name of the tune, the flip side of Cherry Pie. Let's stay in 62, and here's a request for Matey Campboy, and this is a female lead with male backing. They're from Trenton, New Jersey, and it's a 45 that kicked off Joe Evans' Carnival label, co-written by the lead singer. Her name is Clara Woodard. Clara Woodard on lead. They're called the Trenteens, TREN-TEENS. This song played on WATT, located in Trenton, the hometown of this Trenteens group in Trenton, New Jersey. This is by request for Matey Campboy, May 62, on the Carnival label, the Trenteens with My Baby's Gone.
This is the wedding ring my boyfriend gave to me. He said our marriage would one day surely be, but now he's gone. My baby's gone. I don't know why. My baby's gone. He said he loved me. He would be true. He took my best friend instead of me. Now why did he leave me? Why did he go? I love my baby. I need him so. Come back to me. Please come on home. I want you, baby. I need you so. Why did you leave me? Why did you go? I want you, baby. I need him so. My mother told me our love would never be, and he'd take my best friend instead of me. But I guess I didn't care what my mother said. I really loved him so. Why did he leave me? Why did he go? I need my baby. I love him so. Now, Mama, please tell me what I gotta do to make my baby come back to me.
That's the great sound of the Trenteens by request. For Matey Campboy, My Baby's Gone, May 1962 on the Carnival record label. Let's continue here with another one out of 1962 as we head to Detroit, Michigan, with a request for George Tompkins. This group is known as the Martiniques, and this tune co-written by the lead singer. His real name is Robert Willingham, but he recorded as Bobby Martin. This was second pressed on Morris Levy's Roulette record label, so some of you collectors may own this on the Roulette label. I know I do because I collect Roulette, but I'm featuring it on the first press. It's on the Danceland label, the first of two for the Martiniques. It's going out to George, March 62. It's called Tonight is Just Another Night.
Tonight it's just another night. Stars are shining oh so bright. Tonight it's just another night. See the stars are shining bright. Tonight it's just another night. Today was just another day. Hugging just the same old way. Today was just another day. Walking just the same old way. Today was just another day. Darling, say that we will never, say that we will never part. Darling, say that you will keep me right here in your heart. Tonight it's just another night. Stars are shining so bright. Tonight it's just another night. See the stars are shining bright. Tonight it's just another Darling, say that we will never, say that we will never part. Darling, say that you will keep me right here in your heart. Tonight is just another night. Stars are shining so bright. Tonight it's just another night. See the stars are shining bright. Tonight it's just another night.
Whoops, that's the first of two for the Martiniques on the Danceland record label. Tonight is just another night from March of 1962, going out to George Tompkins here. And let's go back out to California. Actually, this is a request for Evan Blatt, and we head back to Los Angeles on George Mottola's Sparrow label. And this group is known as the Individuals. They're supposedly the same group that recorded As the Vows on the Marquee label. The song written by James Moore, who I think is the lead singer on this. So this is going out to Evan, a great West Coast sound on the Sparrow label. June 62, the Individuals. It's called Without Success.
Workday, workday.
Well, I work it out. Sometimes I want to laugh, sometimes I want to cry, but who's to blame? Life is just the same. Will this go on? I work long hard years without a success. I lost everything. You know the rest, but who's to blame? Life is just the same. How long will this go on? Some people say if at first you don't succeed, try again. I've tried so many times, till I'm about to lose my mind. Is there any hope for me?
As by request for Evan Blatt, The Individuals, also recorded as The Vows, also recorded as The Precisions on the Highland record label. Thank you, George. That one there is Sparrow Records, a great West Coast sound without success. Johnny G, I am experiencing success. Thank you all for tuning into the Vinyl Treasure Show tonight and being part of our vinyl community tonight. And 2 more 45s to go before we sign off here. There are 2 requests. There are one for George and one for Mady. As we go back to Philadelphia, PA, for George Tompkins, the great Lee Andrews and the Hearts. This one on the Gowan label. This is sort of an answer tune to their 1957 release called Teardrops, and this one charted regionally. WIBG played this record, and I know one of the charts had it at number 64, but we go back to February 62 for Lee Andrews and the Hearts on the Gowan label. This is going out to George. It's called Together Again for George.
We sit in our room, looking out at the rain. We're happy together now. You're not to blame for the time I sit here crying all alone. Teardrops fell on my window pane. I'm sorry, forgive me, dear, for running out on you. How could there ever be somebody new? We sit in our room, looking out at the rain. 2 hearts at last, together again. I'm sorry, forgive me, dear, for running out on you. This time, my darling, I'll make your dreams come true. With love, devotion, I'll be faithful to you. Please wipe away the tears I cried for you. Together forever
As by request for George Tompkins there, Lee Andrews and the Hearts, a reworking of their 1957 song Teardrops. That one there, this one from February 62. on the Gowan record label, great Philadelphia sound of Lee Andrews and the Hearts with Together Again. Well, that's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show until we're together again, either this coming Monday at 8 o'clock, 8 to 11 o'clock, or again together again next Saturday at 10 o'clock again, Eastern Standard Time for the Vinyl Treasure Show. Thank you all for tuning in tonight to be part of the vinyl community here on YouTube. Maybe we'll be streaming on another platform pretty soon. We'll see. But thank you all for all your requests. You can send them to me at vinyltreasures@aol.com. I have more requests to feature. We'll do that next Saturday night. And I have a few requests for this coming Monday, too, on the All 60's show. So again, thank you all for tuning in tonight and being part of the show. Those of you in the chat room also watching Johnny G on the stream. I know many of you are not signed into YouTube, so you can't join the chat room there. But thank you all. And our closer tonight is a request from my number one California listener, Matey Campboy, as we go back to L.A., California, to Kim Fowley's chart record label for a duo, and supposedly these two guys are the nephews of the late Jesse Belvin, who was killed in an auto accident on February 6th of 1960, and his nephews decided to cover one of his songs that was Jesse originally recorded as a duet with Eugene Church, as they called themselves the Clicks on the Modern label. So our closer tonight is on the chart label. It's requested by Matey. It's by Robert and Bobby. And eventually, after this release, I think Kim Fowley introduced them to Nick Vinette, who was producing at Capitol Records, and they recorded as the Uniques in 1963. But our closer tonight is from January 63 as Robert and Bobby on the chart label, and their rendition of Jesse and of the Click song "Girl of My Dreams." So that's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. Again, thank you all for tuning in. This YouTube gets automatically archived to my YouTube archives. If you missed any of the show, want to go back and if some parts that you may have missed, you can do that. You can also go to vinyltreasures.net where you can stream or download the shows there. I'm going to rework that to a website soon, contracting with somebody to redo that. But been busy with work. It was kind of crazy this week. I had really a week from hell, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's going to do it, folks. Thank you, Charlene, again for all your help with helping Johnny G prepare with the research. And thank you all again for your requests and tuning into the show. Tell your friends about the show and tell them to subscribe and click the like button, as YouTube is sending me some very good correspondence for how much the show has grown and grown over the last few months. Again, that's going to do it, folks. Everybody have a safe and happy week. I'll see you next Saturday for 1950s and early 60s 45s out of my collection. If not, I'll see you Monday. Just want to say, everybody, so long for Matey.
Girl of my dreams, where are you? Girl of my dreams, I'm so blue, doo-doo-doo-doo. How I yearn, how I long for you. Ooh, doo-doo-doo-doo. If I could just hold your hand, surely then you would understand that it's you I adore forevermore. A love like mine is hard to find. It's fire, it's a raging flame. Although you won't hear my plea, that love is raging, just the same. Do-do-do-do, girl of my dreams, what shall I do? Girl of my dreams, I'm sad and blue, do-do-do-do. Can't go on without you, girl of my dreams, girl of my dreams, girl of my dreams.
Okay, folks, that's going to do it for the Vinyl Treasure Show tonight. Let me show you the two records here as I always close out here. We'll do that tonight. And here is that out of Philadelphia, Gowan Records out of Philadelphia there. Lee Andrews and the Hearts. Together Again is the name of the tune. And Sounding Like Teardrops is the name of that one there. And this one here is on the chart label. I think Jerry Diaz sold me this record here. Robert and Bobby, Girl of My Dreams. This is Kim Fowley's label, by the way. It looks like that Chattahoochee. Well, maybe because he was, he eventually ended up at Chattahoochee Records. And anyway, that's going to do it, folks. Thank you again. Today, it was nice to see my two brothers came over the house today. And it was nice to see my brothers. I don't see them often, especially in the day with the COVID and whatnot going around. But they were here. We had a nice time on the porch. My mother cooked us ham and eggs, so I got up early and I met my brother. My sister came over too, so it was really nice. And I was happy to see my parents. They were kind of like crying almost because to see we really haven't been together as a family for a long time, but at least I had 3 of my siblings here. Would like to have all the family over again. I think hopefully that will be happening maybe sometime in the future. We'll see. But anyway, thank you all again for tuning into the Vinyl Treasure Show. So I want everybody to stay safe, be well, and I'll see some of you next Saturday at 10 o'clock. And I'll see others this coming Monday at 8 o'clock, 8 to 11. So tune in anytime you want to the Vinyl Treasure Show. Of course, the archive's always available, and also the vinyltreasures.net. Send me your requests at vinyltreasures at AOL.com. Thank you all again. Just again going to say good night. Stay well. Bye, everyone.